Hey everyone, welcome to a fascinating episode of BioLogic Science News. As human industry and pollution alters the planet's climate, one of the more pronounced effects is a general increase in average temperatures across the world, especially summer temperatures. This is concerning for literally millions of reasons. One of the bigger reasons is that many species of plant and animal require very specific temperatures to survive. Sometimes they have a stage in their life cycle or a reproductive process that requires specific temperatures, and sometimes they just can't tolerate temperatures outside of a very specific boundary. Maybe their sensitivity to heat or cold is just very, very small, and any fluctuation will be damaging to them. Organisms are making all manner of responses to these conditions, trying to adapt and survive in the changing climate. Some of these adapting species are the subject of the study that I want to talk about today. It had long been thought that because birds migrate seasonally to stay within a comfortable temperature range, that simply getting up and flying somewhere else was their default method of staying within a comfortable temperature. It's cold here, so let's fly somewhere warmer. It's pretty basic logic, but it turns out that this simple assumption is too simple, as it doesn't fully describe how birds respond to temperature changes. The researchers observed birds in California nesting and breeding almost 2 weeks earlier in the year than they did a century ago. Now, 2 weeks might seem very brief to a human, and a fluctuation of 2 weeks might seem like not all that bad when you're trying to raise a kid. Like, who cares? You can get pregnant now, you can get pregnant in 2 weeks. It's not going to make a difference, right? Well, with birds, this time shift is actually really significant. The researchers found that of the bird populations they looked at, about half of them would migrate to find a more comfortable climate. They would fly away, while the other half would stay in the same spot, but they tried to alter the timing of their nesting. For these birds, the ones that stayed behind, the warming temperatures will eventually shorten the window of time they have available for reproduction. Now, this is problematic, because if the first attempt at nesting and protecting the eggs of the prospective bird parents fails, they might not have enough time to try again, and this will have a profound influence on their reproductive success from year to year. Other bird species, like larger birds with larger eggs that require a longer nesting period, might find that they don't even have enough time at all in the breeding season to actually raise an egg until it hatches into a healthy offspring. Their reproductive cycle might just get cut off, and they're SOL. It isn't understood how effective this new strategy of earlier nesting will work. One of the authors of the study is Stephen Bessinger, a professor of conservation biology at UC Berkeley. About this strategy of birds nesting a little bit earlier in the year, he says, and I quote, "We don't know yet whether staying in place and shifting schedules earlier is a permanent solution or only provides temporary relief." This sentiment is critically important because it's something we really need to be wary of. The changing climate is causing responses in all manner of species, from fish migrating earlier in the summer, to corals adapting to warmer water, to snails growing thinner, cooler shells. Animals are adapting as best that they can. But we need to be mindful if these adaptations are genuinely beneficial changes that will help them survive climate change, or if they're just stopgaps and last-ditch efforts to survive in an increasingly inhospitable habitat. This is where the danger is. If we fail to stop climate change because we gambled on organisms being able to adapt to it, and it turns out that they aren't able to adapt to it, we'll almost certainly suffer widespread ecological collapse and mass extinction.